Are you too old to start Brazilian Jiu Jitsu? That is this week's question of the week. I am al-Aziz, the owner and head instructor of Semper Fortis Jiu Jitsu here in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm going to tackle this week's question of the week. So, first of all, when I hear the question all the time, I'm 40, am I too old to start? Or I'm 50, am I too old to start? Or 60, or 70, am I too old to start? And my answer is the same. No, you're not too old to start Jiu Jitsu. And the reason I say that is because I have students that are missing limbs. I have students that are paralyzed from the waist down in a wheelchair. I have students where half their body or part of their body is paralyzed. In addition to, I've had students in their 60s and 70s. I have friends who continue to train in their 70s. And I have one friend, she not only continues to train in her 70s, but she continues to compete. And she's doing phenomenal. But the thing is you have to listen to your body. And, of course, first you need to talk to your doctor, to see if there is some physical limitations. Like, if you have a pacemaker or, there may be some physical reasons. But talk to your doctor about what you're getting ready to get into. And, and then when you talk to your prospective instructor at the jiu-jitsu school you go to, let them know what your physical limitations are and, what your concerns are. If you're, let's say you're starting jiu-jitsu and you're 55 and maybe you've had some health concerns, but your doctor says it's okay, but, that you should refrain from, these activities. And, a good instructor at a good school is going to work with you. And that's what I do with my students. I have students that come in and, they're limited in their activities. But the reality is that one, if you're starting, say, 40 or over, just realize you're not going to be the adult world champion black belt competing against 20-year-olds. That's not going to be, that ship has sailed. Also realize if you're starting Brazilian Jiu Jitsu in your 40s, you're not going on into the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, to fight MMA. That ship has sailed. But that doesn't mean that, you can't train Jiu-Jitsu and become very good at Jiu-Jitsu and ultimately become a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. It's just, you're not going to be competing against, 18, 19, 20-year-olds. That's just not where you're at in life. Like for instance, I started Jiu-Jitsu, I think I was 36, 37. I'm 54 now. And I still competed this year, but I'm competing against other guys who are in their 50s. I'm not competing against 20-year-old black belts. I'm competing against 50-year-old black belts. So, you're going to have to listen to your body. You're going to have some limitations, but you can absolutely train. And, it's never too late. Ideally, you started training jiu-jitsu today. When you was, say, 14 years old, 16 years old, 20 years old, that's when you started your journey. But now, let's say you're 54, then, the next best time to start is, start today. And, some of the reasons to start is, one, you may not be able to compete at the highest level, based on your age, but, there's things that you still need to do, like say at 54, there's things that I still need to be concerned about, like flexibility. I still need to work flexibility, so that's a good reason for me to train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I still need to be aware of, conditioning, because at 54, we have a tendency, maybe gain some weight. We're not as conscious of staying in good shape, so Jiu-Jitsu is a great way to stay in good shape. Other things, probably one of the best reasons to continue to train Jiu-Jitsu or start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, even if you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, is one for self-defense. So put competition out of the way. Like, don't let that be a barrier. If, say, you're 70 years old, self-defense is still a concern for you because thieves, crooks don't have some code of honor where they say, well, this person's 70 years old, we won't rob them. No, they're still going to rob and assault you. Matter of fact, thieves are more likely to rob and assault elderly and disabled people because they're easier targets. So we can train you to be the best that you can be based on your abilities. And so if you end up in a self-defense situation, you have some skills to give you the best chance for a good outcome. So that's one of the reasons self-defense is an excellent reason to start jiu-jitsu, even, if you're 54, 60, 70, it's like self-defense is still a concern for you. Also, you're going to get cardio work, it can help you with weight loss, mobility, and then, a lot of great camaraderie. Like some of my best friends are people that I have trained with in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And, it's really a great network of friends that you create in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So that's another reason for you to start Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, even if you're older. So I don't think it's ever too late to start, and just work based on, your physical limitations. Talk to your doctor. There may be some things that you can't do, but in my humble opinion, it's never too late to start Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Just realize that you're not going to be the next UFC champion or the next adult world champion, but you can be very proficient at Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. So I would encourage you to do that, not let age be a barrier for you to say, I'm too old to start. No, jump right on in there. And I'll do another video, but also, I meet people who are like, I'm too out of shape to start, or, I had a good friend who was like 400 pounds, or he was like, maybe I should, I'll start once I lose some weight. And it's like, no, you might never lose that weight if you don't start. So go ahead and start today. So that's my answer to this week's question of the week is, when are you too old to start jiu-jitsu? I say never. Just keep going to the best of your abilities. And, on the wall, Elio Gracie, when you talk to his sons and his grandsons, he continued to train into his 90s. He was getting on the mats training. Was he competing at a 20-year-old world champion black belt level? No, but he was still training and performing to the best of his abilities. And, that gives you a reason to, get up in the morning, and, that's good for your health. And so those are good things. So don't let age be a barrier to you going to sign up for jiu-jitsu. So that's it for this week's question of the week. Next week, I will address some more questions. I'm going to end up talking about some weight loss and some ideas that I have and what's worked for me. And I'll start addressing that next week. So thanks, and hope everybody had a happy new year and a Merry Christmas. So talk to y'all soon. Ciao.